Mr. Lee.
Sure. You mentioned the Burundian forces in CAR. I wanted to ask you two questions. One is it the case that when they repatriate this summer, they will not be replaced? And has Burundi been invited or not invited to this upcoming UN police event that will take place here in headquarters this week?
I don't know on your first one, and on the second, we can check who the participants are.
Also on Burundi, or on press freedom, there was on May 30th, the Minister of Public Safety put out a statement basically accusing various journalists, some by name, of promoting of crime and violence. And so I wonder whether the Secretary General's statements that he made in Korea about freedom of expression, et cetera, apply there and also in Egypt. I was sort of waiting for a statement.
They apply across the board. We obviously have seen the reports of new charges being brought against the Union of Journalists in Egypt. We remain concerned with the situation. We're following it closely. Mr. Lee.
So I want to talk about Cambodia and South Korea. In Cambodia, I want to just, has your office issued a statement of concern about the crackdown there? Because some there are saying that it was issued and that it was stunningly timid. They said it didn't capture, that it's basically Hun Sen cracking down on the opposition, that it's not a two-sided thing. So I was looking at the counter there. Has there been a statement on Cambodia?
Well, I always appreciate the analysis of our response. We were asked, and we answered. There was no statement issued. And since I take it you're asking what our position is.
Yes.
The Secretary General is indeed concerned about the escalating tensions between the ruling and the opposition parties in Cambodia, particularly the arrests or attempted arrests of parliamentarians who enjoy parliamentary immunity. A non-threatening environment of democratic dialogue is essential for political stability and a peaceful and prosperous society.
All right, but you've seen the criticism that this seems to sort of equate the opposition that's getting arrested with the...
I think, people are free to analyze and dissect our statements, and
Sure.
we would expect that is the case.
So on that note, I wanted to ask you about the Secretary General. I saw when he left South Korea, he said that he'd been misunderstood, or there had been too much coverage of his what was widely reported as his attempt seeming intention to run for president. And so he said, I would add that the coverage of what was supposed to be an off-the-record meeting with the Kwan Hun Club has led to overreaction and overinterpretation. So apparently you were there. Was it off the record? Because I'd asked about it here, whether the transcript would be released. It was said that it would be exclusive sometimes with groups of journalists. I saw a photo. It's like a lot of journalists, like more than a dozen. Can you, if in fact it was misunderstood, many people reported it that were there. Was it off the record? Was it an exclusive? What did he say?
There was a meeting that he organized with a group of senior Korean journalists. Part of it was on the record, part of it was off the record. Whether it's a one-on-one interview or a group interview, we would not release a transcript. I mean, we release transcripts of his press conferences. The basic message from the Secretary General is that up until the very last day of the mandate that's been given to him by member states, he will focus on being Secretary General and fulfilling that mandate. Once that mandate is over, he will then decide how best to be a productive global citizen. But that decision will come after he leaves office.
But since he's the Secretary General now, I wanted to ask you about that 1946 General Assembly resolution. There seems to be a resolution that's still on the books that says that, particularly right after retirement, a Secretary General should not have a position in a government given confidences he's received from government. So that's on the books now. Does it apply?
Obviously, he's aware of the resolution, and the rest is just speculation, because he will make up his mind as to what he will do after his term as Secretary General ends, after his term as Secretary General ends.
Sure. I wanted to ask you, in Haiti, I'm sure you've seen the commission that came out and said basically it should all be redone, that the election was so fraud-ridden. So I'm wondering, given MINUSTA is there, what is the position of the UN on that?
We've obviously seen the report. We're taking a look at it and hope to have more to say a bit later.